price of a Lego set going up over time depends entirely on the supply and the demand of that Lego set. This is nothing new. We learned this in school, Economics 101. Supply and demand drives prices. If something is in low supply and high demand, the price will rise. It is the same for real estate. It is the same for milk and cheese and everything else in the grocery store. If the farm has low supply for a couple of months because there's a drought, but people still want the milk or want the whatever the thing is, then prices will rise during that time. We see it with gas at the gas stations. We see this in all sorts of different places in our lives. The interesting thing for Lego sets is that the supply is on a timer because we have retirement of the Lego sets. That means manufacturing will end. And after that manufacturing stops, then the supply starts to come down. In general, because if you think about it, there's only so many of them that were ever manufactured. And if you could see that number, there is a real number out there. If you could zoom out at the entire Lego market and you could see that there was however many million units that were manufactured, and then they stop manufacturing it because the set retires, that's it. We can't have any more of that set ever in existence. So as more and more fans open those sets up and start to build them, fewer of them are going to be available in sealed condition in the aftermarket, and no more can ever come back because they're not manufactured anymore. So we have this case where even if there is a lot of supply of something, it only is going to come down over time. And month by month in retirement of a Lego set, we have the price going up because we have the total available supply coming down. And those resellers and those Lego investors like me who have a lot of stock of something can't replenish. I can't, even if I got a great investment and I have 100 units of it, after I sell out, I can wish that I got more than 100, but I can't get more. So I'm done. That's it. And the supply comes down and the price goes up. So this is what we all know, right? This is the interesting thing that it makes Lego investing so amazing. This is why I love Lego investing, because that supply can never be replenished. I've sold all sorts of other items on the internet. I've sold books. We had an entire book warehouse with a forklift and we did truckloads of books, and we had 3,000 square foot. We had a team of people selling books on Amazon. And the problem was that it was like a penny war. I was fighting against everybody else on those listings to sell those books, and everyone was dropping their price because there was unlimited amount of people that could come and list their version of the same thing. But with Lego sets, that's not what happens because there is a finite supply. So price goes up over time. It is my favorite thing to sell on the internet because of that. But an interesting thing that you need to understand as a Lego investor is on the other side of the coin, right? There's the supply and then there is the demand. And the beautiful thing about Lego sets with demand is that there is so much of it because Lego Group have done such a good job at marketing. They have grown their revenues every single year for as long as I can remember. They are the hottest toy brand in the world and everyone wants them. And so we have an endless supply of customers and demand. But some Lego sets have more demand than others. And the interesting thing that we need to think about as Lego investors is not just the demand during the shelf life, not just the demand when the set is available in stores, but the sustained demand in the future. Because here's what's going to happen. After the set retires, the price is going to start to rise. And what we need to happen is the demand to continue to be there even at higher prices. Because if we buy something for $20 and we want to double our money on it as Lego investors, we need the demand to still be there even if that same $20 set is selling for $50. Because after we pay our fees on Amazon or eBay or wherever you want to sell, we want to double our money. So we need the demand to continue as that set starts to become scarce and as that price starts to rise. So here's what we're going to do here in this video. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to look at Amazon.com. We're going to talk about some of the retired Lego sets and the data points that we can look at and what that means and what some decisions we can make based on that are. Even if you do not sell on Amazon, this is important and you should treat it the same way, right? This does not only apply to people who sell on Amazon. I use Amazon for a lot of my research, even if I was not going to sell on Amazon, because it is the biggest marketplace of Lego fans, of Lego buyers that we can look at. And there's some really good tools that we can look at. So you can use it as a gauge of overall Lego demand and overall sentiment about Lego sets, even if you're not going to sell your stuff there. So it's really, really useful for that. So if you see a Lego set selling for $50 on Amazon 2 years after retirement and it was a $10 set before, that gives you good information as to whether the demand is continued in the aftermarket on that kind of set, because people are still paying for it, even if it is 5x the MSRP. So use this data as a kind of a spotlight that's going to shine on little things that you can take away, little ideas that you can apply to your future buying decisions. So we are on Amazon.com. We are looking at Speed Champions. I just picked a theme. I just plugged in Speed Champions. We're going to have a look at some of these data points. And specifically on Amazon, you can see something called the sales rank, okay? It is also called bestseller rank. And the sales rank is a ranking of all of the items in that category on Amazon. So if you look at the toys and games category on Amazon, a sales rank of 1 means it is the best-selling item in the toys and games category. A sales rank of 100 means it is the 100th best-selling. So lower is better when you're looking at sales rank, bestseller rank. It basically means it is a very fast-selling item. But if it has a very high sales rank, then it means it is a slow-selling item. So what is a good sales rank and what is a bad sales rank? There's no real easy way to say it. It depends on what category you're looking at, and it can change a lot. Typically, anything under, in the Lego category, anything under like 200K is definitely moving. Anything over like 500K is very slow moving. But if you have a sales rank of 50K, 40K, 30K in the toys and games category in the US, again, this is going to change by marketplace, that's selling pretty well. So you don't have to worry about not being able to move your inventory if the sales rank is at that kind of level. So sales rank is one data point that we can get on Amazon to understand how fast something is moving, how, like whether there's sales velocity and demand for something. And you can see that even after the set retires. So 2 years later, you can see the price is now double what it was or triple what it was, and the sales rank is still under 50K. Then what does that tell you? It tells you that even at the higher prices, people are still buying it. And then you can start to compare sets against each other of similar price points, similar themes or sub-themes, sets that have similarity to each other. And you can start to think, this one, even after 2 years of retirement, is selling better than this other one that hasn't even been retired yet. So that shows the characteristics of set A are so much more in demand, or there's something about that that's so much more in demand than this one. So how do we start to digest that and kind of dissect that a little bit? So let's just look at some of this stuff. So we're on Amazon.com. We can see all these Speed Champion sets here. I have a little extension here installed, and it gives me the sales rank right here in this little kind of like a preview box on Amazon.com. It just kind of, it's like an extension. You don't even need that. You can actually click into the listings. You can see the sales rank in the listings. But if you wanted to install this extension, it is free. You can see it right here on the homepage. So you can see that this the Pagani is 12,800 in sales rank right now in toys and games. This is a top 15K of all items in toys and games. And because I've been doing this a while, I know that that's a very fast selling item. You'll learn that over time. It is selling quite fast. But if you look over here at the Lamborghini, that's at 40K. It's like, Shane, why is the Lamborghini selling so much worse than the Pagani? Well, look at the price. The price of the Lamborghini is currently at $37. So as prices go up, sales volume will come down, and this is expected. This is not anything different than what we should expect, because there is more demand for things that are cheaper. This, again, it applies to everything in economics. So when something's cheaper, you'll have more people, more quantity demanded. You'll have more people trying to go buy it. If there's a movie ticket costs $5, you will have a higher volume of people who buy that movie ticket than the movie ticket that costs $25. It is just the way it is. And so when Lego sets are lower priced, the demand is typically higher. Now, there's a lot of other variables that come into it, because there's a lot of other like, you can't say that a $10 Mario set is definitely going to sell better than a $20 Star Wars set, for example, right? It doesn't work exactly like that. But if everything else was equal, if the same Star Wars set was $10 and then a different retailer was selling it for $20 and everything else was equal and they had the same size audience and everything, then sure, the $10 one would sell more, right? So typically we expect when things cost more, the demand comes down, and you will see that in the sales rank. So when you look at the sales rank right here, we see that it's 40,000. The price is inflated on this. This was a $16, $20 set. You could have got it for 16, and now it's 36. So of course, the sales are not going to be as fast. It's not going to be selling as many units as one of the currently available Speed Champion sets that you can still get for $16 or $20. Is that a bad thing? Should we be worried about that as Lego investors? Absolutely not, because again, the supply comes down so much faster than the demand. Even though the demand comes down as the price goes up, when the price is 36, the demand is not as high as it was when the price was 16. The supply has come down even more than that because retailers can't stock it anymore. So people can't just go down the street and buy this set anymore. They got to go to the aftermarket. So the supply is down. So the supply falls faster than the demand falls in Lego, and that is why the price goes up. So even though the demand falls a bit, it doesn't fall that much. But if we click into this, and if we actually look at what's going on this Amazon listing here, we can see the price is 37 almost, but we have this tool here called Keepa. And Keepa is a price charting tool for Amazon, and it can give me some ideas about what's going on an Amazon listing. And we can actually see that if we zoom in here in the last couple of months, this green line right here shows us the sales rank. It actually shows us the demand of the set. When it goes higher, it's bad because, like I was saying before, a lower sales rank means better in the rankings, which means it's selling faster. So whenever we see the sales rank is down, like right here, we see there's a lot more selling happening. And when it's higher, like over here, it's less selling happening. Why might the selling slow down? There's a handful of different reasons why sales might slow down. Price going up is a big reason because, like I was just saying, when the price is higher, sales come down naturally. That is the same for everything. But there's other reasons as well. Seasonality, sales are naturally more in November, December for Lego sets. Seasonality comes into it during the summer. Sales can be a little bit slower because people are outdoors and they prefer their outdoor hobbies and their sports as opposed to their building Lego. So there's a lot of reasons that sales rank the chart could go up like this. But there's also things that Amazon can do on their side to change it. So, for example, Amazon might introduce some new Lego sets to the site, and then some of the traffic could start going there, and that could impact the sales rank on this particular listing, for example. So that is one of the things that we can quickly see in the sales rank. Now, another thing I want to point out is that Amazon have recently started giving us some other data to show us sales volume. And it's right here. You can actually see 300 bought in the last month. This is super interesting as an Amazon seller for years and a Lego seller for years. We didn't used to get this data. So we had to use sales rank for everything. But now they're giving us this real nice number right there on the listing page of how many units. And again, they're not giving the exact unit count, but they're giving like a bucket of roughly how many units have been sold or bought on this listing in the past month. So we can see 300 plus bought in the last month. Now, again, this set is $37 right now. So the price is inflated and they're still selling 300 units a month. No retailer has stock of this right now. Amazon do not have stock of this right now. This is all coming from the third-party market, and 300 are moving a month. So do you think the third-party market is going to be able to sustain this price forever if 300 are moving a month? I don't think so. I don't think there's that many sellers out there with over 300 units, or I don't think there's millions of units out there or tens of thousands of units even out there that will keep this price at 37 for very long. If it's moving that fast, then it's going to go up to $38 and $39 and $40 pretty quickly because the demand has been sustained. So the whole point of looking at this data after a set is already retired is to try to ask yourself, will the price go up more, right? Because if we were to look at this and we saw that this is only selling 10 a month after the price has hit 37, I'm going to tell myself, you know what? I should probably sell my units now because I don't know that it's going to quickly go up further to 38, 39, 40. So looking at the sales velocity of a set after retirement, while the price is heavily inflated, and you still see incredible sales on it, tells you that there is an audience for this set well into retirement, even at higher prices. People still want it. People still love it. People are still paying for it. And there's only so much longer that the price can stay at this number before it starts to go up further. And when I see that, I'm going to hold for a little while longer. I'm going to think, you know what? I don't think it's going to take long for this to hit 40 or 42 or 45. So in my opinion, the data might be telling me that I should wait a little longer. So that's what we're getting to here, right? We're starting to see that sales rank, sales velocity, sales volume, demand numbers in retirement can be super useful for telling you when to sell your inventory. And if demand has significantly slowed down, if you look at a set and you look at that sales rank chart, like the one down here, and you see big peaks, right? We see kind of like this, these big peaks in the sales rank, like where it's rising to a really big number. And you see that that's happening because the price has risen. So they seem correlated. And the peaks don't drop again. They stay high. Right here we can see that the peak was temporary, but then it dropped again. And the peak stays high. That tells you that the demand is slowing down as the price rises. And if the demand has slowed down too much, then it might be better off to go ahead and sell at this current price. It might be better off to take your profits and reinvest it into something else. So when I'm thinking about this set, for example, this is the Jesco. This is one that I invested in. And it has been reasonably okay so far. It has not been a very quick, amazing investment. Thankfully, I got a lot of these for $10. So it is a great investment because I got such a good buy price, right? I got them for $10, so I'm already doubling my money, even at 30. But a Speed Champion set hitting 30 is nothing crazy because we've seen many of these Speed Champion sets. We're going to look at a couple of quick examples. Hit 50 or 60, and sure, that would be better. Would I be better off waiting for the Jesco to get to 50? Again, when I'm asking that question, I look at sales volume at the current price. I'm seeing 400 bought in the past month. If I look at the sales rank, I'm seeing a sales rank of less than 20K. And again, that over time you will learn what's good and what's bad on sales rank. But if you're seeing a sales rank of 15K, that is a fast moving item. This item is selling like crazy. Even at $30, people are buying this set to finish their collections. They're looking for the Jesco and they're buying it. So will it get to a higher number? Will it go up to $32, $35, $38? Absolutely yes. The answer is simply yes. It will. I can tell that from looking at the sales rank. I can tell that from knowing that the demand is still there even at 30. So I know that if the demand is there at 30, all of the lowball sellers, the sellers that are currently selling it for 30 will sell out sooner or later, and then the price is going to bounce up to maybe 32 or 33, wherever the next sellers are. So if we were to look at the listings that are available on this, you can see over here other sellers on Amazon. You can click this and it's going to bring out the listing, the like all the different sellers that have this item in stock. And I've also got the Keep It extension will also tell me how many units of this are in stock. So we can see that at $29.82, there's 4 units available on this seller. And if we scroll down, the next seller, $29.85 is their price, and they have 1 unit available. $29.90 is their price. They have 2 units available. And then we're starting to see, and actually you got to combine the delivery. So these are all free deliveries, but 21 plus $9 deliveries, pretty much $30. So these are all $30, but they don't have that many quantity, right? They'll sell out of these quantities really fast. The first, and this is not even significant quantity, but the first person here with a little bit quantity is this seller here with 19 units. And again, you'll sell at 15,000 sales rank. You'll sell 19 units of this thing within a day probably. Like it'll sell fast. So, and then the price goes up to $30.49, and then they'll sell out, and then it'll go up. Yeah, we have some more units here at this same price, so it'll stay there for a little while, but it will not take long to get up to $30.55. And this is the way it goes, folks. This is what we see happening. It all happens so fast that you don't notice it. But in order for the price to rise, all of these sellers will start selling out. Then we'll be at $30.75. But as you saw above here, there wasn't that much quantity. There really wasn't much volume there for the price to get up to $30.75 on this. And then we're at 31 very quickly. There's really not that much volume available. 32 almost, we have 18 units. Again, 18 units will move pretty quickly at this price. This is the first with more than 30 quantity at $32. Again, even none of this quantity is going to hold the price in place for very long. So you're going to have this price moving up for sure. Absolute certainty. So what does that mean as a holder of this Lego set? Now, there's another thing we got to think about, because I am a big believer in compounding, right? Compounding is going to really build my wealth over time. Compounding in Lego investing means turnover. It means selling sooner, reinvesting profits so that you can get more gains, right? Make your money work for you. Maybe someday soon I'll do an entire video on that because it's a really important thing to understand for Lego investing. But for me, it's like I need to turn over fast as much as I can. I'm not going to sit on something for 3 years. So just because I look at this sales rank and I see that that's certainly still selling really well, even at $30, and I definitely think it's going to get up to 31, 32, 33, 35, 38 for sure. Am I going to wait another year for all of that to happen? Probably not, because I want to reinvest my profits. So if I get a great opportunity to buy something at half price right before it retires, I'll happily sell something for double my money and take the profit and reinvest it, even though I think that this is going to do well. When then does this matter? When does the sales rank being so good matter? It definitely, if it's insane, right? If the sales rank is still insane in retirement, even at the price, even after the price has doubled or more than doubled, and it's still selling like crazy. This happens a lot on certain sets that are in such high demand that the sales rank remains crazy even at the price, after the price has skyrocketed. Then I will probably hold a little bit while longer. Majority of the time I will look to sell when I hit my price targets, but I certainly look at this data and I certainly make that decision on a case-by-case basis about whether or not I should hold this one a little longer, because is the sales rank insane? Another place where it's really, really important is it might make me sell sooner because the sales rank has slowed down too much for my liking. And if the sales rank has slowed down a lot, then it tells me the price is not probably going to go up as fast as I wanted it to, and maybe I'll be better off getting that reinvestment done sooner. And so I'll put it into another great set instead. And so that is that's where I'll make that decision. Now, where can this come back to bite you in the behind? Here's the thing, right? I love to compound and reinvest. Because of that, I take a year one stance, right? And people in my groups, you heard me talk about this, like year one winners. I'm looking for sets that are going to perform really well in the first year. I don't want to hold 3 years like some other Lego investors out there will like to do. I like to try and sell after a year or before a year so I can have the maximum amount of turnover and then tap into compounding and grow my wealth faster that way. Now, does that mean that I sell too soon in Lego investing sometimes? Absolutely, because certain sets have so much demand in the aftermarket, so much sustained demand that they can hit ridiculous heights that maybe I never even thought were possible. So, for example, this Speed Champion set is now $75. This is the Porsche 911, 1974 Porsche. I got these for $12. And it doesn't seem that long ago. It was a couple of years ago. I sold everything that I had, and I think I sold them all for 50, something like that, and now they're 75, and I bought them for 12. That was an incredible investment selling these for 50. It might have been more like 45. It was between 45 and 50. It was a great investment. Now they're 75. They're 75. So what is insane about the fact that this is 75? Firstly, the fact that it's 75 itself is insane, right? You could buy them for 12 and now you can sell them for 75. It's not even that long ago. Let's see what this price chart looks like. Look at that. Look at that price chart. There were 12 right here in 2021. It has been 3 years of retirement, I guess. Retired at the end of the year. First year, it hit 35. Second year, actually middle of the year. Second year, it was like in the 47s or 40. I probably sold it somewhere around here, 45. And a third year, it hit 65, and now we're talking about 75. So this is a phenomenal investment. That's the first crazy thing about it. The second crazy thing about it is that the sales are still rocking on this thing. Look at this, 100 of these sold in the past month, and it's $75 for this set. This was one of the old 6-stud Speed Champion sets, and it's selling for $75 right now after just a couple of years of retirement, and it's still moving like crazy with strong sales. So could I have held longer on this one? Absolutely. But the thing is, I'm never going to hold 3 years no matter what. It just doesn't fit into my business model. I want to reinvest faster. You could look back at, stuff in hindsight is 2020. You can look back and you could wish that you held longer, but it's never going to fit the way I do things. So I can't look at this and be like, oh, I made a mistake by selling this. But I probably did make a little bit of a mistake because the writing was on the wall when, if I look at this and it's now 100 plus right now at $75, this number was probably crazy when I sold them. I don't know if I saw it or didn't see it. I don't remember, but this number was probably crazy. The demand on this set must have been absolutely insane. And if I had looked in enough detail, I probably would have told myself to hold a little longer. But the thing is, I probably wouldn't have held until now because again, it's 3 years. I don't ever really hold that long. But I probably could have got more than what I sold them for, right? I sold for 45 and now it's 75. So I definitely could have made more. So we need to find a balance on when to sell and balancing it with your turnover and your compounding. And that's one of the big challenging things that we got to do. But looking at this data, looking at demand in retirement, not just before you buy, right? I use this data when I'm picking what to invest in as well. And it's in the book. Like if you've read Winning Set Secrets, there's a free copy in the link in the description, by the way. If you have not read that book, I don't know what you're doing here. Go read that book. It tells everything that I do to pick winning Lego sets. And you can get it for free with a free 30-day trial of BrickBucks Ignite as well, which is my inner circle community. But in that book, I talk about how I use this sales data to pick winning Lego sets. But what I'm doing here in this video is I'm talking about how it's not just about picking sets. It's also really useful in deciding when to sell and whether you should continue to hold a set because of this sales rank and sales volume data. Very, very powerful stuff. Very, very important to know about. And if you look across the board, you could look at other sets as well. Like look at this Nissan Speed Champion set. Right now it's at $67. Insane, but also they're still selling. This is selling 50 plus, so this has less demand than the 911, but it's still selling really well at that high price. And the supply a couple of years after retirement is never going to be that high, and so it's doing great. Would I continue to hold when I see 50 plus and 67? I'd be happy to take my profits at that point. I'm happy to cash in, but it's still a good enough volume to move this thing. And then we look at the Audi. The Audi right now is at $87. Now, they don't give us a number. This is just an example of Amazon being a little fiddly with the numbers that they give us. They don't have a number at the top here. But again, you can look at the sales rank. And if you look at the last 3 months of sales rank, you can see this thing is still moving pretty well. It's got a sales rank of 150,000, which is high compared to when this set was available in the stores. Like if you go back here, the sales rank was less than 20K. And you can see that green line rising over the years as the price has gone up. That's an example of what I was saying at the start, which is price will drive demand down as the price goes up. But the demand is still strong. You have an $87 Speed Champion set here from a couple of years ago. You could have bought it for $16 at 20% off. And even at $87, people are buying this like crazy. You can see that every time that green line falls, that could be multiple sales. It's a day of sales every time that green line falls. So it's selling every day, even at $87. Insane demand on retired Lego sets out there, folks. And I hope that this is useful to understand some of these important things. One last thing I'll leave you with real quick. Another really important thing to think about is while a set is still available on the shelves, but then they temporarily sell out, like Amazon runs out of stock for a week, look at the sales rank during that period. What happened to the sales rank? Because typically we'll see the price bounce up a little bit. Amazon runs out of stock. Then it goes to the third-party sellers, and because they'll start to sell their quantity because Amazon are out. And the price will typically bounce up a little bit because they're priced higher than Amazon. They can't really be priced the same as Amazon unless they're, probably going to break even or lose money. Typically, they're going to be priced a little bit higher. And the price will bounce up a little bit and the demand might follow. Look at that demand. What happens when the price rises? If you see the price go up like 50% when a set is out of stock and you see the demand stay, so the demand is still sustained even at higher prices, a big signal for a winning set. Again, this is all just one half of the coin. We also need to think about supply and all that stuff, but it's important to look at the demand numbers. They can be super, super useful. I hope you found this useful. I know we got real nerdy in this one. It's not as fun as my typical, look at all these sets that I invested in, stuff like that. This is getting nerdy. This is going deep in the weeds on data and stuff like that. So it's not for everyone probably, but I hope if you're still here right now, you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to read that book, Winning Set Secrets, which breaks down how I pick winning Lego sets, grab the link in the description down below. And also, if you want to get in on the discussion, we have a free Facebook group. So you can come join our Facebook group and you can start asking questions about Lego investing. I'll leave that link in the description as well. And once again, thank you so much for being here. I'm Shane from brickbucks.net, and make this your year to lift off and be free.